This week, rumors about price and power of the next Xbox surge, like the refreshing taste of the Uncola. Then, a cool spot check of Sony's pricing gives us a peek at PlayStation's precarious prices. And we make 7-Up ours in this week's Inflation Deflation Challenge on Cool Spot for Sega Genesis.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 385 of the Game Deflators podcast. My name's John, and I am joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody, here at the Game Deflators podcast. We like to talk about games we've recently picked up, games we're currently playing, and it feels good to be you in this week's Inflation Deflation Challenge.
Dude, are you bringing props on every episode now? So last week was
you
McDonald's.
Get the brand in for the brand month.
Got 7-Up this week. I don't even know where I can get 7-Up. I haven't seen it in my grocery store in so long. Nice. I did learn
gas station, John.
an interesting thing. So apparently, like Dr. Pepper and Pepsi, I think, own 7-Up, and they distribute in certain regions. Like the U.S. is Dr. Pepper, in the U.K. it's some other company, and then Pepsi does it internationally. Yeah, learned a lot about soft drinks this week. So I assume we're gonna do Pepsi Man as well at some point. So you'll have a Pepsi.
Man.
Are we doing the?
I'm not a big fan of Pepsi, but I'll drink a Pepsi for the show.
Are we doing the Chester? Or no, we're doing Noid, right?
Oh, I get pizza? Hell yeah! I didn't even think about that. This is gonna be a good month.
All right. Well, of course, we're playing some Cool Spot. That'll be in our Inflation Deflation Challenge this week. Of course, you can find the Game Deflators on thegamedeflators.com. Ryan, I'm going to update the website. I promise. At some point, it's coming. It's coming. You can also find us on social media at Game Deflators and at The Game Deflators, wherever you're at. We're also on YouTube, so if you're listening or if you're watching, thanks for watching. Hit the little bell, subscribe, leave a comment, like our shorts, all good stuff there. And then we are predominantly a podcast, so if you're listening, thanks for listening. Leave a review, 5 stars would be great. Subscribe on whatever application, and let us know where you're listening. Always appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah.
Pickups this week. I actually did not have, well, I did have a pickup. I don't have it on me. So I purchased the Rivendell Lego set. I'd been wanting it for some time. And I had like a $200-something gift card, and I had some credit card money, and said, all right, let's put it towards Rivendell. It's going to be retiring at the end of the year. It is currently on back order, but they had this little like cool sushi restaurant that was a gift with purchase.
Oh, so, the one that you sent me
no,
the picture of?
So I didn't realize that those were like a limited, once they sell out of a certain stock, they're done. I thought, oh, okay, I can pre-order it whenever. So I actually missed out on that, unfortunately. I'll probably pick it up at a later time on eBay at some exorbitant price point, like $400 or $500. But I did, as a gift with purchase, they had a little sushi restaurant, and it has a little man cooking in like this little tiny restaurant. It has a giant nigiri with shrimp sitting on top of the restaurant. So,
oh, that's cool. I've got this like little fun like knockoff Lego little kind of sushi shop. Actually, it's not sushi, it's like squid or something.
Oh,
it's got an octopus on the roof.
Oh, nice.
That's
pretty cool.
Tamagoyaki.
I'm not sure, but I do like some octopus when it comes to seafood. But yeah, so what else does it have on it? It's a gift with purchase, and then I got a little Dragonborn Paladin keychain. So one of the tricks I've heard is if you have an item on back order or as a gift with purchase that you really want, if you do that, like if you order the back ordered item, the gift with purchase doesn't always get shipped out to you unless they have a reason to ship something to you. So you always pick up a little tiny item, it's a few bucks, that'll ship out with the gift with purchase. And then when the back order item comes in, they'll ship it, because you run the risk of hoping that Lego will take your gift with purchase that you've got and put it with, aside for you. So when that item becomes available, that they'll ship it out.
Makes sense.
But you do run the risk of them like not having any more in stock. And then what are you going to do at that point? Right. So I went ahead and pulled in.
I guess they'll just have to make more Legos.
I guess. Dude, it's shocking. Like, I don't know why that Rivendell set's been out of stock as long as it has. It's been since, I think, January that it's been on back order. So
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it
Lots
gets
of Lord of the Ring fans.
it says it gets shipped out on March 28th or by 28th. So I anticipate it coming very
because
soon.
people are raving for Magic the Gathering Lego sets. That's why the Rivendell's sold out, John.
Oh, and then up here,
that meme you sent me about the Oreos, I lost it. That was so funny.
Oh, the Magic the Gathering characters.
Your favorite Magic the Gathering characters, and he's holding up the Avengers Oreos.
It was so great, dude. I laughed at that one. So I did build this one. This is the God, it's not a Baylor. I forget the name, but it's the one where Gandalf is like, "You shall not pass." The bookend.
Oh.
Yeah, so I built the bookend this week. Yeah,
Balrog.
Yeah, the Balrog. That's right. That's right. I play too much D&D, man. First thing I'm thinking is a demon in D&D. But yeah, so
is a Baylor like a big red demon guy?
I think a Baylor. No, Baylor's a devil, isn't it? I want to say a Baylor's type of devil, or it is a demon. I think demon or devil. It's a demon. Yeah, I should know that because I had my group fight one a while back, and one of the things with the Baylor that was really interesting was when it died, it basically combusted. And then it was within a certain radius, everybody took however much damage from it. It was like 80 or 90 damage. I don't remember exactly, but I rolled a lot of dice to make it happen. And the party just got completely wiped out. But I had it built in to where one person was still up. And because they were just out of a radius. So the way I did is I blew it up within a certain radius. And that one person was able to kind of sit back and heal and such. Because I didn't want to do a TPK at that point, given that they were already all in hell. The last thing I need to do is TPK them. But yeah.
Where would they go?
I don't know. I guess in hell.
Just restart.
That group played with a lot of demon ichor. So I don't know. Maybe their souls would get trapped in Avernus. I don't know. We could figure something out. That would actually have been pretty cool. Like a nice plot twist. Like they all die, but they don't realize it because their souls are now trapped in Avernus. And then when we like complete the campaign and are trying to get to the surface or blocked from getting to the surface somehow, that'd be pretty interesting. I'd probably piss a lot of them off though by doing that. Yeah,
could be.
All right. So yeah, like I said, no pickups for me. I am still playing some Valkyrie Profile. So I finished up some sort of dungeon. I forget what it was, but God, what was it? It was this dungeon that had I'm still in that dungeon. I haven't finished it up. So you enter like this weird flesh dungeon with eyeballs everywhere. It's difficult as hell, dude. I was so pissed off at this one. So you have to make your way to certain rooms and you hit like a heart. And when the heart starts beating, there's arteries in certain areas that then like open up and allow you to pass when you hit the heart. All the enemies are like balls to the wall hard. Every single one of them is difficult. And so I got through a good chunk, and I got to this one area where you have to jump on different blood vessels to be able to get to another like section. There's 3 of them. Well, when you jump on the blood vessel knocks you off after like a half second. So you have to be pretty quick. Well, the input doesn't allow me to go super, super quick on it.
Oh, man, this is just like that last game.
Yeah. Yeah. Which game was that I played?
I don't know. It drove you crazy. There was that one area where you kept getting stuck.
Yeah. What the hell is it called? Alundra. Alundra was fantastic, though. I mean, that story was great. This one not so much. This one's actually getting there. It's getting there for it. By the way, a correction on last week. So I mentioned it. I wasn't sure if Lenneth was telling people like, hey, you're going to fight for the gods or whatever. She does. So she actively, oh yeah, you've been selected. Why am I selected? Why am I so worthy? Blah, blah, blah. So that type of stuff has occurred. But yeah, so these blood vessels, I found that I could get to a certain point of a ledge and I could jump across, like skip one of them, jump to the middle one, and then try and hit the next one. But then I had to rapidly jump again if I timed it just right. And so it took me 45 minutes to do it the first time. So I did it, and then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good to go. There should be a save point on the other side of this wall. Not the case at all. So there's then like these teeth that are hanging in the in the staircase essentially. And if you happen to fall in there, you go to another area in the game or in that dungeon, and there's like these blood vessel things that suck you up and will take you to another point in that dungeon. So I got to a point where like 45 minutes, I pass it. I then end up hitting these teeth. Then I spent another 15 minutes trying to redo what I had just done. All the meanwhile, every time you fall off of the blood vessels, you end up falling into a big pile of teeth, and you end up in that same area. Well, the problem there is if you don't jump on that correctly, there's 3 separate portals that you could end up in, right? The first one takes you to the very beginning of the dungeon. The second one takes you to a middle point, and the third one takes you exactly where you need to go. I could not for the life of me at 12:30 at night try and figure, and I had already been so far in the dungeon, I was like, I can't just go to bed now, because then I'm going to have to redo all of this tomorrow, all the leveling up, everything I did, I'll forget what I did, basically. So I'm like, I got to see it through until the save point. Every time I tried to jump over that second section, I kept getting sucked up and put into the middle of the level again. It pissed me off, dude. I was like, I was that close to just being like, no, I'm done, no more. And ultimately, I was able to get through it, but it was a pain in the ass. So I'm hoping that's as difficult as it gets for stuff like that. And it's not even a matter of it being difficult. It's just like you need that perfect timing to get it done. And I think that's what was most frustrating, especially that late at night. So it's no different than if I'm playing
Yeah, that can be super annoying.
Yeah, it's no different than if I was playing a Souls game or something, or Souls-like, and I had to parry at certain points, and I kept missing that parry because you just got to get the timing done. It just takes...
Souls has its own terrible platforming.
Yeah, that's true. It does. So, yeah, I pick a lot of games that piss me off, apparently. But
games with secondary platforming challenges.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it for me, man. How about you?
Easy peasy. So, a little bit more Guilty Gear this week. Not a whole lot to report. I really only was able to squeeze in like a couple quick practice matches here and there just to kind of keep my fingers limber and remember what I'm doing a little bit. So, not much to report on there. Resident Evil 9 is going very well. We finished the first Leon section, and one thing that we learned, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but like you don't like share the inventory box like you do in a lot of Resident Evil games. So that's kind of like, I had gathered some stuff as her that I was like, oh, well, like, I'll just save all these upgrades for Leon, because like I'm mostly going to be just kneecapping dudes and running away as her. Like, I don't really need the extra health and strength of bullets and stuff because I'm not really doing anything. Like, I might as well give that to Leon. But I guess Leon probably just doesn't need any of that because I kick so much ass as him. I'm like, you could keep all those updates, all those upgrades, Grace.
Doesn't it have one of them uses a traditional inventory system, and then the other one uses a different style?
Yeah, uses like Leon still has his like attaché case grid that you have to like Jenga everything into that I love.
Yeah.
But we then got to the second Grace section, which was like a creepy kind of like couple of hallways, and you've got to like move some power coils around from place to place to unlock certain doors and make your way forward. And there was like a fun little sequence on like a big treadmill running away from a meat grinder as like zombies were getting up. So that was kind of cool. And some more ducking and weaving from like big scary monster sister.
Nice.
Yeah. And then
I love the mods that I've seen, by the way.
I think we're still her.
I love the mods that I've seen, by the way.
Oh,
on that. Yeah, I think there was
Shrek and Thomas.
There was a Shrek as whatever the hell it was chasing Grace. There was a Michael Jackson, like all of the zombies or whatever sound like Michael Jackson. I think we had Grace in a micro bikini in one that I saw recently. And then I'm hoping that somebody does like a giantess one for Will. I want him to feel good and have, one specifically for him. But go on, sorry, I interrupted.
So we got out of this like creepy basement as Grace, and I think that's where we called it because I don't remember exactly what we were doing next. So more of that to come. And then I did get another hour in the treadmill. So I am up to 13.55 miles now in my Monster or Dragon Quest 11 series.
So it's 6.5 hours.
I'm going like 3 miles an hour. So not really.
Okay,
More
so about
like
4 hours, a little over
4 or
4.
5. Yeah,
Okay.
somewhere in there. So
I thought you were
that's
doing like
going.
I thought you were doing like a 30-minute mile.
No, I'm doing like 3.5. I'm putting the thing on 3.5, which I'm assuming means 3.5 miles per hour. Like, I don't know why it would measure in anything but that.
Mine measures in kilometer, and I learned that after I was like, man, I got 6-minute miles. This is crazy. And it's like, no, you have a 6-minute kilometer. I was like, well, that's not as good now.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going well. I'm still at the point where like I've done all this. Like, what am I doing? We found Eric's old thief partner Dirk, and he was like, I don't know. We thought he just like stole the orb and bailed, but he was actually like a legit cool guy, I guess. And he went straight. He got married. He opened a shop, and he started to like sell a bunch of stuff and be really good at just being like a regular working guy. And he started spending all his money to bribe the guards to let Eric be able to escape from prison easier. And then we left there and we're going through the Mangle Grove. For some reason, there was a guy who was turned into a dog, and we saved him from being a dog. One of the things that I love about these games is just like the Akira Toriyama artwork. And it's just like you just see a monster and you're just like, oh, that's just like, that looks like something out of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
It's fun to always have like that art style and things. So that's going well. I'll keep sweating it out. Keep putting in those miles.
Nice.
I'll get there eventually.
Nice. Well, let's jump into our fast news before we jump into our main articles. So I don't know if you saw, Brick news. Yeah, I guess we're changing up this week. It's all Lego. I like your comment where you're like, that's a lot of Lego. So, so for Mario Day, Lego and Nintendo announced that for the minifigures, we're no longer going to have the crazy, I don't know, we might still, but the crazy abominations of Mario and Luigi and Peach and Bowser that they've been making.
Chonko Mario.
Yeah, for the last 6 years. They're actually doing a minifig, which is going to be pretty cool. That will start getting released.
Has it been 6 years?
Yeah, because they started releasing these when I was in a Chandler house, and I was there during, or not Chandler, sorry, in my Mesa house. And that's when, like, just after COVID. That's when I started doing these. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I remember buying a set back then, knowing that at some point I was going to have a kid and I would have a lot of Lego. Dude, I went up to that pile.
Now you have that kid.
I have that kid, and he's starting to love Lego. And I have got a pile of, I'm not kidding you, I've got like 30 boxes of different Lego sets right now between Sega and Donkey Kong and Mario. And that kid's going to have so much fun with Lego. But
did you have the Zelda one? Did you get the Deku Tree?
No, I didn't get. I wasn't interested in it. I'm not that big of a Zelda fan personally. I'll play some Zelda and I'll wear some clothing. And
Will you though?
Yeah, I played Ocarina of Time. I played, what is it? Link to the Past, and I played the Link Between Worlds. I need to play Majora's Mask still because I hear that's probably more my speed. I've also played what is it? Not Twilight Princess. What's the one that's all cartoony that I really like?
Wind Waker?
Wind Waker. Yeah. So that's about it.
Okay, cool. So you've got some Zelda.
Yeah, my wife played Zelda on the NES, then we struggled through Zelda 2 together and just said screw it when we were at Ganondorf. So yeah, I've played some Zelda. It's not really my favorite out of all of them, out of all types of games, but I got some Zelda merch here at the house and such. You know, but yeah, so I didn't buy those because just I would rather buy Lord of the Rings Lego sets than I would Zelda, just personally.
So what do you think about this this minifig here?
I like it,
What do you
man.
think about him?
Well, I mean, when I first heard they were going to do Mario Lego, that's what I thought they were going to do, is actual traditional minifigures. Like, if you look at Animal Crossing and you look at Sonic, they have traditional minifigures that are built after those characters. When they released the initial Mario minifigure, it's not even a minifigure. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it looked like Duplo blocks. So now I have seen some comments of people saying that they like the chunky type of Mario. They feel it's more interactive. Yeah, I guess, but it's just not, I don't know. For me, it's just not as aesthetically pleasing to
Yeah.
have that versus like a traditional minifigure. So, I've got a crap ton of minifigures. If you have minifigures, you could take Mario and you could put Mario in his minifigure form into a whole bunch of other scenarios. You could have him riding in a Millennium Falcon or something, right? Like on display. Like there's fun things that you could do with the minifigures that you can't do with the chunky Mario. So
Now, like, do you think he should have his own like headpiece like he does, or do you think it should have been like a legit, just like straight up minifig?
I like it with the head the way it is. It's still a little different, but it allows you to conform to the traditional Lego sets. So I'm okay with it like that. And the reason being is if you look at the Dungeons and Dragons set, I'm looking at it right now, like I've got a Dragonborn, I have an Aarakocra in there. I'm trying to think what else is in there. There's a number of figures that were released that don't have the traditional Lego head, right? So, there is that going forward as well. There one here, a Mind Flayer, and it has like the tentacles going down, like, and it's all part of that one figure's head. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any issue with that. I'm sure there's other minifigures throughout history that have not been the traditional, like just a circle.
Now, do you take a Yoshi like this that's got regular minifig body but just Yoshi head?
So, no, as far as I know, the Yoshi is going to look like a Yoshi, but it's going to have a shell saddle on it. So that way you can display the Yoshi as normal with the saddle. But if you want to
Wait,
have,
they already announced there's going to be a Yoshi?
as
I
far,
was just talking.
oh yeah, no, I was reading that there's going to be a Yoshi with a saddle that comes off, and then the character can be put in to ride it. But then there's
Okay, so it's going
also,
to be more like the horse.
yeah, kind of. That's what I'm envisioning. I didn't see a picture. That's just what I was reading. So yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it should happen a long time ago, actually. Something else that should have happened a long time ago too is a Lego PS1. So that's also been rumored now for later this year. About 1,900 pieces,
Oh, yeah.
$170 is going to look same scale and size as a normal PlayStation 1.
Oh,
And
yeah, I'm excited for that. I love those console ones. I
yeah,
mean, the Game Boy is the only one that I actually have because I didn't really know where I would put the NES one, and I'm just not that into like the Atari, so I wasn't gonna do that. But like straight up, like yeah, an N64 or a PlayStation, I would definitely pick up.
yeah, I've got the NES one that I picked up a long time ago. I haven't opened it yet, actually. I still need to build that one. That one's pretty cool. I didn't buy the Game Boy one, but I got a gift with purchase that was a Sega controller. So I do have a Sega controller, and on the back end, it has a little Sonic scene. So you have like a little tiny like clear circle that has it looks like Sonic on there, and it has the loops and stuff that you can. It's pretty cool. Just has a little like diorama in a sense on the back of the control. So I do have that one, and yeah, I didn't buy any of the other ones at this point.
So for this, like all these usually come with like some kind of like game, thing or something. Like for the PlayStation, what game do you like put in the box with Lego PlayStation? Like
It
I'm thinking like the demo disc would be super fun.
That'd be a cool one. If I had my choice, it's got to be first party, obviously, right? So if I had my choice, I think I would go with probably Ape Escape or Ark the Lad if it was my choice, right? If they do include a game, I think the one that makes the most sense would be Crash Bandicoot 1 for that era. Now, whether or not they have the rights to do that, I'm not sure. But that would be my choice there. And then the wild card that would get people excited and would throw a lot of rumors in places if they did like a Legend of Dragoon game that came with the PlayStation 1.
I think like something like Gran Turismo is way more likely.
Yeah, it is way more likely just because it's first party, they own full rights and they can do that. Is it the most
And
popular
it's an
option?
existing game that's still made nowadays. Like that's the problem with all those other games; they don't exist anymore.
Power Rapido Rapper had a PS4 release. So
Parappa would be cool.
that would be a cool one. Yeah. Legend of Dragoon, they've had, if you're going to sell the PS6, by the way, down the road, a Legend of Dragoon remake is the way to go. I think you get a lot of people right off the bat.
You and your 10 friends.
Oh, I'm not a big Legend.
I'm one of those friends, but yeah, like I don't know, it's just too niche.
No, at this point, it's gotten such a big cult following. I'm not a big Legend of Dragoon fan. Like, there's people out there that are hardcore Dragoon fans. I'm not. I've played it. It's an okay game. It's not my favorite. Now, would I play a remake? Absolutely. I would play a remake. But it's not, it's not the top of my list in terms of RPGs. I do think that if they did a remake, that would push that console pretty quickly, though. You'd get a lot of fanfare.
Didn't we do an article not too long ago about some like game dev talking about how it's probably better in his memory than it would be if he went back and replayed it now?
Yeah, we did. I forget who it was, but
yeah, I knew that felt fresh. That thought in my mind. I was like, we've talked about this and recently.
Yeah, I mean,
anyways.
it makes sense. I mean, but I mean, the game has aged well. It's not like if you played Legend of Dragoon right now, it's aged pretty nicely. I mean, it's a very crisp, clean game, and the combat's very fluid. Like it's a decent game. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but it's a good game. It's worth playing. So, all right. Well, that is it on Brick News this week. So Brick News. All right. So first thing we have here is Microsoft has revealed more details on the next generation Xbox console, which is Project Helix. This one comes to us from Game Rant. So we might be a little out of date on news here, so forgive us on the episode. GDC is happening, I think it's this week. Like it's happening right now over the next few days. Right, so when this episode comes out, it's GDC is going to have ended. We're kind of in the middle now. So there may be more news than what we're talking about today while you're listening. So
maybe
this particular article essentially covers, it says that the Project Helix new Xbox console will more than likely be somewhere around $1,000 minimum, up to about $1,500 based on the specs that they are aware of right now for the console in terms of the actual hardware that's going to be going into it. They're also looking at an 2027 timeframe to get the actual alpha version into the hands of developers so they could start optimizing for the console. Does potentially rule out a 2027 launch of the Xbox. However, given that it's probably a PC console type combo, maybe has interfaces like Steam and other, Epic Game Store, whatever on there, then you do have the potential to, optimize quickly based on it being architecture that they're, accustomed to in a sense. So that's really about it as far as what I've seen. They also talked about Windows 11 Xbox update that's going to be coming out in April as well. And the anticipation behind that is because they're going to be looking at more PC moving forward on the console in the future. It is the right step to get people accustomed to utilizing their PC to be able to play Xbox games and such.
Yeah. I think that this is going to be very interesting. So if you've got Xbox, who is like, we're going to be the big boy, we're going to make the PC/console hybrid, and we're going to sell it for like $1,000. Where does the Steam machine fall? Because the Steam machine falls,
I was reading on that.
like and just a little bit, under that, like maybe it comes out at like $800 and it's a little bit less powerful. Like, how many people are going to just be like, well, it's only like $200 more. Like, I might as well buy the Xbox because it's the same thing. Like, I'll be able to play all the same games on both. And now all of a sudden, is Xbox gonna win that, or is it gonna be a lot of people like me that are like, oh hey, I'm just gonna get the Series S and wait for the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's exactly what I did. And so on this one, it's like, okay, well, I'll just buy the Steam machine because it's a couple $100 cheaper, and I'll just wait for the PS6. Like, why
Uh,
even waste time with this whole Xbox thing when who knows how long that's even going to be supported? Like, just go with the Steam one because it doesn't realistically have an expiration date.
I think it's heavily dependent on Microsoft's exclusive games approach. And then you do have the ability to play all PC games on the Xbox. I think Xbox wins in that respect. The downside, however, is they have a poor track record since the 360 in their most recent consoles with consumers, right? So I think that is a downfall for Xbox as well. So they have to get some goodwill with their consumer base before they can actually, I think, be successful. I was reading that the Steam Machine, we read a while back, Steam Machine is probably going to be about $750 overall. And what I was looking at is the entry point for certain games to be able to be played on Steam Machine is they have to be at least 1080p and 30 frames per second. So there's going to be a lot of games on that console. So we'll see. And then as far as PlayStation's concerned, I think it's a 2027 release is what they're aiming for as well. So it seems to me like the console war is now including Steam at this point. And we'll see how, and that's also part of Sony's strategy too, because Sony's, as we've heard rumors of, they're pulling back PC games and putting, individual like single player games, putting those onto PlayStation exclusively. I think the reason behind that is a combination of Microsoft's exclusive approach, more than likely, and the Steam machine as well.
Yeah. I love how Nintendo's just like so off of the release schedule with like every other platform now. They just kind of exist in their own separate bubble where they're just like, we'll just kind of do whatever we need to do. Meanwhile, they're just selling like millions of copies of Pocopia.
Yeah, Nintendo's kind of they've always kind of been in their own area.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's kind of been PlayStation and Xbox battling.
But I mean, they're like years apart on like the release schedule. Like it's like, who even knows if the PlayStation and the Xbox are going to come out in 27? Like if they don't even come out till 28, and Nintendo's got like a 3-year gap.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be severely underpowered at that point in comparison to those two consoles. But it's kind of been that way since the Wii. I mean, a Wii came out, it was really a PlayStation 2 for the most part, and that came out during the PS3 era. And there was really no comparison to the other consoles in market.
No, but like timing-wise, like the 360 came out within like
a year before the PlayStation.
A year of the Wii? Wasn't it? Didn't they come out in like 2007 or 6, and then the Wii came out in like 2008 or something?
Wii is November of 2006.
2006, okay.
And then we have the, let's see, PS3 was 2006. And then that would mean the 360 is 2005. Yep.
Yeah, so those all came out basically in the same year.
Mm-hmm. But from a power standpoint, the Wii...
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just talking about like time-wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nintendo's always been in their own bubble.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it from the power. Well, I mean, the GameCube was pretty on par with, I would think the Xbox and the PS2 in terms of graphics and like the GameCube. In some instances, their games are far more superior on the GameCube than some of those other consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say the GameCube is the last era of Nintendo where it was like at the same caliber in
Parody.
same parody, and then the Wii just took them in a totally different direction. And then they tried to get
We
back
would
on.
like to play.
They tried to get back on track with the Wii U, by having Blu-ray and all that, the Blu-ray style of game and HD gaming and things of that nature. It didn't stick, obviously, and then it went to the Switch, which was essentially graphically about.
It was a good Switch.
Yeah, it was a good Switch. Yeah. All right, that's about it on Microsoft right now, man. Your thing is coming up next, and I'm sure this is going to take us in a whole bunch of different directions. Hopefully, I have enough water for this coughing, because we're going to be doing a lot of talking.
So, Sony is testing dynamic pricing in their PlayStation Store. This comes to us from a cool place, psprices.com. They are like a pretty cool place. They kind of keep track of digital prices for PlayStation games, and they've been doing some tracking for quite some time now, since November of 2025, and they say Sony's been running some A/B testing on the store over 4 months. The experiment grew from 50 games in 30 regions to over 190 games in 70 plus regions, including the largest market, the US. So they are kind of just putting different discounts on different games at different times in different regions, and just trying to see like dynamically, like when are people like biting and like trying to get people to take advantage of these savings and buy games, which is definitely not a bad thing. Like getting some discounts on your games when you want them, like that's pretty sweet. And it's a lot of the usual suspects. You've got like Spider-Man, Ragnarok, Stellar Blade, Helldivers, Gran Turismo has some of the top ones on here. Lots of different numbers, lots of different stuff. John loves numbers and stuff. John, what do you think about these numbers and stuff?
So, I mean, I've heard a lot of negativity and people are pissed off about this.
It's such a triggering word when you hear dynamic pricing. Like we've all seen the news articles and things, dynamic pricing.
But see, like dynamic pricing has been around for quite a while, depending on where you're looking. And the one you should get pissed off about is dynamic pricing in the grocery store, because that's a more of an approach similar to like airlines that has been kind of questioned, where if you have like a dozen eggs, for example, in the grocery store, and you happen to go in at 3:00 and they've got, I don't know, 40 packages available. So you're looking at a standard rate, maybe discounted, but you come in 3 hours later to running at 10, and maybe that's all the stock they have, and that price goes up, right? So that's like what I've always understood as dynamic pricing. This is more personalized discounts. Now, what's getting people upset is they see it as like it's an equity aspect of, well, it's not fair if Ryan sees a game for $50 and John sees a game for $40. Well, that's not fair to Ryan, right? But it kind of is, because Ryan's spending habits would indicate that he's more than willing to pay that type of money for that, whereas John may be willing to wait a longer period of time. So what does Ryan do? Ryan hears that John got a discounted game for $40. Ryan says, well, screw that. I'm not going to buy the game at $50. I'm going to wait it out until I get the discount. So,
which may never come.
Right? But it depends on your spending habits and what you're doing. And so even today, I get advertisements through retargeting that say, oh, you looked at whatever item a while back, we're offering, the item is now, I don't know, $20 less. It's not fair to anybody else who isn't getting that, but I'm the one that showed interest. So yes, they want to try and get it sold. The slippery slope is by offering this and by making it legal, could Sony theoretically, sorry, I'm like super dry from coughing all day, man. The idea is that could Sony theoretically, well, no, I'd been sick like for a week. It's just dry for rubber right now. Could Sony theoretically increase prices for certain people and then have discounted rates for other people? Theoretically. But if you know a game was released at $60 MSRP and then you see it for $70,
they don't sell games for $60 anymore, John.
They sell games for $30 and $40 and $50 and $60 and $70. Okay, so let's just say $70. You see a game at $70, first party Sony game, MSRP is $70, right? A week later, it's $80. It's above MSRP. Like, why would you pay that? Like, it releases 70, so why would you pay the 80? So I think this doom and gloom aspect of, so it's a slippery slope with digital pricing and Sony can increase the price. No, you're just jealous that one other person, based on their spending habits, got a lower rate than you did based on your spending habits. You might be getting a 25-30% discount on sports games because that's what you predominantly play, and you don't play shooters all the time. Whereas that person might play shooters all the time and they get a better discount. So that's something to factor in. That I've also seen because of the equity component. There's certain people that maybe don't have a ton of money and it's going to reward people to spend more money. I don't think that's the case. Like, it's actually probably negative if you spend more money because they know that you're willing to buy games day one. So why are they going to give you discounted rates? Whereas somebody who maybe doesn't have as much money, this is an opportunity for them maybe a couple weeks after a game is released to get a discounted rate because they normally can't afford it. And so they're getting that discount right up front.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in a lot of circumstances, I think that what this is going to do is enable more people who just like hoard digital receipts of games. Like, everybody complains about these big giant scary backlogs that they have, and every time like a Steam sale rolls around, they buy like a handful of games, and like some of these games they'll never ever even play. And basically this is just Sony kind of testing out, like, okay, how and when and at what level are people most likely to break and buy in. And the more they can kind of get this out there and refine it, the more likely people are to just be like, oh, this is like a really good deal. Like right now, like I can't really pass this up. Like I was just thinking about this yesterday. Like I would like to be able to play Strive back here in my room here on my laptop and hardline in and see if that's better. Because like I've heard that like I think you can restrict who you like match with based on their connection type. So I think that if I was hardlined in and I was playing on PC, I would have a vaster pool of people to play against. Because sometimes I get online and there's like 2 or 3 people that I just match with over and over and over again. So I think I would have better access, but I already bought it like for $30 on sale on PlayStation because I didn't want to spend $50 to buy a hard copy. And now I'm looking at buying it on Steam where it's $40 still, or $50 still. I can't remember. I just looked the other day, but it was like basically full price. Like it wasn't discounted. So it's like next time it's discounted, am I just gonna buy it because like, oh, like I better buy it now while it's on sale? So
But that's
I think it
how.
leads to kind of more of that mentality.
But I mean, that type of stuff is already in existence. So Best Buy is a good example. If I'm on Best Buy's website and I'm looking at a new monitor, right, for my PC, I've run into situations where if I'm not logged in, I see the base price, but if I'm logged into my account, I see a discounted rate on that item.
Yeah, but you're like shopping for a monitor. You're not just like
I know
getting something because it's cheap right now. Like you're not like, oh man, I can't afford to not buy a monitor right now.
I get it, and I can understand the predatory practices tied to it. But that discount is still there. Like we're complaining about Sony discounting games right now. Like that's the big complaint people have. And the biggest complaint is that more of jealousy, I think, and then like, why is so and so getting a better discount than I am? Right. I think that's the biggest qualm that people have is that specifically. But discounts happen all the time. There are sale prices that happen all the time.
Shouldn't The Last of Us Part 1 just be like $50 though? Like, does it need to be $70 still at this point?
No.
Like, should it even be discounted more than what it is and just that be the price instead of like waving this flag that it's like, well, it's still worth $70.
Well, that's the thing.
Most people are like, I don't know about that, Jack.
Well, that's why I hate digital games in general, right? Because there's no real secondary market for the most part, specifically in Sony's ecosystem. There's no secondary market. So Yeah, that's why a lot of people prefer to go on PC, because you get more frequent discounts on those games, and there is, in some cases, a secondary market for PC games digitally. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just don't know if I can get 100% behind the anger that people have here on this type of pricing. Now, obviously, if Sony starts increasing prices above MSRP, and if you're willing to pay above MSRP, then you're just an idiot. I mean, just to be upfront on that. But if they're actively discounting and your discount's lower than somebody else's, or yours is not as much, whatever. Like, then just don't buy it, right? Buy it when you feel you want to buy it. There are a number of games that I look at that I say, I'm going to buy that day one because I want to play that game. There's other games I look at and say, I can wait on that. I'll buy it when it's 20 or 30 bucks. It's about knowing your own spending habits as well. So people are honestly getting upset that Sony they're saying they're predatory and looking at their spending habits, when in an essence, it's actually benefiting that consumer based on their spending habits. And I see what you're saying about, it's going to create a digital backlog thing. Dude, I've got 2,000 something games in my house that are physical that I'll never get to in my life, along with digital titles. Like,
Well,
because
yeah,
of
and I mean,
discounts.
a lot of those you've gotten
In big collections and things like that, yes. But I've also picked up new titles that on Black Friday that were $10, or $20.
Yeah, but I would say that there's like a big difference between like you're actively like building a collection. Like, I don't think anybody's like, look at the number on my Steam account. It's huge.
No, people are like that, actually. I've seen some posts. Some people are like, oh, I've got however many thousand games. And it's the same concept. People see the Steam summer sale and they load up on titles, or there's a spring sale or a winter sale and they load up on all those titles. It's the same concept in Black Friday. It's engineered discounts for the masses. Now, yes, it's equal.
Watch, I probably have way more Steam games than I even think I do.
Probably. I've got a handful as well. But those discounts are engineered discounts, right? The Steam sales specifically. Another thing is, like, nobody was complaining about, I think, Humble Bundle years ago. I think they used to do a thing where you pay what you're willing to pay, but then whoever paid whatever amount, that's what it went up to, if I recall, years ago.
It's Steam Tower Defense Fest. I used to love Tower Defense.
Well, see, there you go. I don't know what you paid for it, but that's in your backlog, right?
I've got 30 Steam games.
Yeah, and how many of them have you played?
I want to say the majority of them.
Okay. So you played the majority of them, right? If you bought 30 more over that same time period, you have 30 games you haven't played yet. Did dynamic pricing have anything to do with that?
Well, no, but I'm not like that kind of person. Like, I don't log on every month to every platform that gives me free games and download them just to do it.
Just
sometimes I do,
numbers. Yeah.
but not like every month.
Steam actually has, I think, 5 games this month that are free, by the way, that you get to keep. I forget which.
How do you do that?
I saw some. Look around. There's an article that was floating around on free Steam games. Like, Epic Game Store does it too. Every month they have a couple games.
Yeah, I know Epic does it.
I think Steam has like 5, I want to say, that were coming out. So look around, but it'll give you links and instructions on how to do it. However, I'm interested to see what other people say on this. I'm not pro dynamic pricing, but I am pro personalized discounts on stuff. So that is where I'll stand for now, unless somebody comes in and says something that is going to blow my socks off as far as negativity on this approach is being taken, and can prove that Sony is trying to charge over MSRP, which they are not, by the way, at this point. None of what we have looked at this point has been an indication of above MSRP. It's all just been variable discounted rates, hence the A/B testing. So, since we're going to move into the inflation deflation, I'm going to get a cough drop. You do the whole, like, everything, release, platform, reception, all that, and I'll probably be back right when you finish.
All right. So this week in the Inflation Deflation Challenge, we've got Cool Spot for Sega Genesis. This was developed by Virgin Games, published by Virgin Games. The designers are David Bishop and Bill Anderson. It was released in April of 1993. It is a platform game. Average reception, 9 out of 10. Actually pretty well received, this one. Quick synopsis of the game. Your Cool Spot, the widely known and instantly recognizable mascot of your favorite soda and mine, the refreshing cool 7-Up.
Unless you're in a PAL region.
Yeah, unless you're in a PAL region. And if you are watching this and you don't know who Cool Spot is and you haven't looked it up yet, he's this little red guy right here. That's Cool Spot. If he had sunglasses on and hands.
I had to double check that today, by the way. I was like, is there a red circle? Because I don't ever remember seeing that. But yeah, so
you couldn't spot?
I couldn't spot it, yeah. So a little bit of the interesting history behind this that I learned. This era of games, by the way, these like soda companies and McDonald's and Chester Cheeto and Pepsi Man, all that, like when all these things were occurring, Pepsi Man might be a little bit different because it's a ways out, but there was a period in time where the government was not allowing advertising to children of products like this. And so what they did is they started making video games to be able to advertise their products. So it wasn't true advertising, it was a multimedia approach. So that's kind of interesting as to why this era exists. But it also kind of makes me wonder if that's why these games are actually pretty good. You know, the Ronald McDonald's Treasure Land, that was easily like an 8 to 9 out of 10. It was a fantastic platformer. This is also a great platformer. Like, did they make sure that these games were phenomenal for the sake of, you know, getting people's eyes on it on a consistent basis? Because they were good games, you know, versus if it's a crappy game, it's not going to move. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you're listening,
like, playing these games now, I'm like, I wish that they had more fun advertising tie-in games.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, you're the one that's against advertising video games. I don't know. You can't talk. But if you were listening to the podcast versus watching, Ryan drew a little cool spot on his 7-Up, which is great. I love it. Yeah, so overall about the game, general platformer. You run around as, you know, little red spot with some sunglasses. You start out on a beach, and your goal is to, it's interesting, the way the game sets you up is it has like Hero Wanted, it has like an arrow that says you, and then it has like the 7-Up logo and another logo. And it's like, these are good. These spiky things are bad. Yeah, these spiky things are bad. You need to open this, and it's like a cage. It shows a cage with like another cool spot. And there's a couple other things, but basically like all the instructions of what you need to do in the level are very much in front of you. Like you cannot mess this game up. And so you open up on a beach, and you know, you got different enemies like crabs and flies of some sort. And your goal is to, of course, make your way across like these balloons and collect red coins, and get to the point where you get enough coins that you can open up the cage, and you got to find like it's kind of like a key or another like thing. I forget what it's called, but you find a specific item that allows you to open up the cage as well.
It's like a 7-Up icon or something.
And so you open up the cage and let out the cool spot, the other cool spot, and you're good. The other level that I played was like you're on a ship and you're climbing up and down ropes, collecting coins. You got worms and crabs everywhere and flies. It's actually kind of difficult in some instances of this game because the enemies are fairly hard, but you're throwing like, what is it, spray or something, or I guess it's magic.
I think it's soda bubbles.
It must be. Okay, yeah, I was like, it's something. So yeah, soda bubbles makes the most sense, but that's your attack. Basically, is soda bubbles. Then that's what we'll go with. I like it, dude. Like, this is a game I played when I was younger. Always enjoyed it. Always found it pretty difficult when I was a kid.
This was like a rental game, and I was like, what even is this?
I remember when I was younger and I booted this game up, I didn't really recognize at that time what it was, as I do today, of course. But
wait, you didn't instantly recognize the biggest mascot in soda?
No.
Cool Spot?
No. In fact, I was shocked when I was a kid. I'm like, why is there a 7-Up bottle in the background? I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just playing Cool Spot, and I liked it. So even today, it still holds a good place in my game shelves, and you know, I'll jump back into it every now and then when I want to play some Cool Spot. So,
yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, it's definitely got a lot more going on like game wise, it feels really good. Like they put like a crap ton of enemies in this first level of this game.
Even a second one.
And there's a whole secret like back way that you can go where you can like just like go left at the beginning, hop on the bottle, and just like take the balloons across like the whole level. So like in this game, they built in this whole like alternate route that you can go if you're smart or just like a savvy player and you want to skip past the first level real quick. Like I thought that was pretty like ingenious and not something that I really expected from a game like of this like, you know, pedigree.
Yeah. And I tried both ways. Of course, I went through the balloon route first. You get to a certain point where you actually cannot progress and you have to keep going.
Well, you need to go get the key thing.
Yeah, and that takes you towards the end of a level, which is where you get smacked by a ton of enemies, but you're at a checkpoint at that end. There's several it's funny, there's like 7-ups, which act as the 1-up. It'd be nice if you actually got 7-up. That'd be kind of cool.
If you got 7 lives per 1-up, that'd be sick.
That'd be pretty sick.
The unlosable game.
Pretty much at that point, right? Yeah, so you progress a
little
little bit.
You know why? Because you can't beat the refreshing taste of 7-up.
Oh my God, dude. Like, hashtag not a sponsor could be a sponsor, right? Yeah. But yeah, so once you get past that checkpoint, you get towards the end of that first level, again, balloons, right? Like and that level specifically, you kind of have to use the balloons. You don't have much of a choice because that's where the cage is located of those balloons. So, but I did find a little difficulty in the second one with like the rope climbing. There was one particular area.
The jumping is weird off the ropes.
Yeah.
You got to like make sure to hold up when you jump, or you just don't get any height from the jump. It's wild.
Well, and then there's like cutoff points too of the knots, and like some of them you can't jump.
Oh, it's
rope
like
to
a
rope.
Hard ceiling, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I do like that the soda bubbles could go through things as well. So if there's a pretty hard enemy, you could just soda bubble your way through it. But overall, I mean, it's a great game. Just as good as
we've been knocking it out of the park this month with these games.
We
so
should
far.
probably look at Pepsi Man's reviews before we jump into that one.
Dude, no, Pepsi Man is legendary. I've seen some Pepsi Man playthrough. It's legit.
All right. So then I think Food Month is going to have been a success. And you were getting on my case about this. Like, we just finished Movie Month. I don't even remember whose idea that was. Probably mine as well.
Movie Month, yeah.
Yeah, Movie Adaptation Month. But Food Month has proven to be very successful. We should, I don't know, what other weird month could we do? We could do Lego Month.
I don't know. We'll do some research. We'll put R&D on this.
Our whole R&D team, hence you and me.
That's me.
Yeah. It's predominantly
RMD.
That checks. 100% checks.
Ronald
if you don't
McDonald.
know, Ronald McDonald is Ryan's name. Ryan McDonald, I'm sorry.
Ryan McDonald.
Yeah.
Old McDonald had a podcast.
All right, so brass tacks here. Complete in Box is going to run you $29.21. That is currently at its peak, unless you're into dynamic pricing and you want to wait this out, which I don't think it's going to work out that way. But it is at its peak as of March 2026, trending up. So, yeah, you got to buy it now if you want it.
All right.
Loose
Cool
price will be
spot, legit box art. Surfing, legend, cool spot. Deserves a spot on your shelf. For 30 bones? For 30 bones, complete in box? Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because Genesis is like a nice hard clamshell case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely pick this one up complete in box.
I think it's on the SNES and the Amiga and a couple other things as well. But yeah, Genesis for sure. I want to say it's on the Sega Saturn too. Or there's a version, which pretty sure I have that one as well. Loose copy right now run you $12.49. It peaked at $16.29 in August of 2022. And that's trending up. I think this game is just right. I think $30 is a fantastic deal for this title. If you really want to be a cheapskate, you could go on your web browser and find it on some random website and play it out. But
you could buy a loose copy and probably a couple cases of 7-Up.
You could. Or you could just print out the cover as well. There's always that option too. But yeah, I think at $29.21, that's great. It's almost borderline like deflated for me. It kind of technically has to be if you're willing to pay $30. Just saying. So,
well, it can't be deflated because of the fantastic carbonation in your fresh ice cold 7.
So what are we playing next week? Are we doing Pepsi Man?
Next week we're doing Pepsi Man.
All right, that's gonna
Pepsi
be.
Man.
I've actually never played that one, so it'll be interesting.
Oh, dude, get ready for the Pepsi Man song.
Yeah, I had played
and the cutscenes.
I played Treasure Land and I played Cool Spot before. We're doing Noid, right?
Yeah, because I'm excited for pizza now.
I mean,
I can have Cheetos whenever. Get out of here, Chester.
Couldn't you?
We're getting the Noid.
Yeah, we got the Noid. Let's see. Pepsi Man, and then we've got Noid. Oh man, that'll conclude Food Month, unfortunately. So we got 2 weeks left. Damn. All right. Well, that sounds good. So Pepsi Man next week, Noid the following week. So look forward to that episode. Until then, this has been episode 385 of the Game Deflators podcast. My name's John.
I'm Ryan.
And thanks for listening and watching. And 7 Up.
Cheers.